Hello, my elegant warriors. I am coming to you early in the morning, much earlier than I usually record. I am heading up to Massachusetts today. My dad has been ill. He just got out of the hospital, and I want to go and be there with them, my parents, and help them out a little bit. So I wanted to get this recorded before I go because this is an episode I've been thinking about for a long time. And sort of sometimes the episodes just come, and sometimes I play with them in my head, and then I read a book, and that makes me sort of change the way I want to talk about it. And then I listen to a podcast and that changes the way that I want to talk about it again. And I've been reading a lot of books that have sort of gone into this particular topic. And so I really wanted to come here today and talk to you about how to believe in yourself, how to do it. So many times people tell us, oh, believe in yourself. Oh, you can do it. Just believe. And no one really tells us how. And I think that that's because people don't know how. People don't know how to believe and how to build beliefs. I mean, that's why I started the Belief Builders Academy, and it's why I do the work that I do. For 25 years, I learned and honed the skill of building beliefs in the courtroom. Jurors would come in, and I defended doctors in medical malpractice cases, and jurors would come in, and every single person on every single jury was a patient. And I represented the doctors, and I never had a doctor on any of my juries. And over the course of a day or a week or 2 weeks or sometimes even a month, I would build the jury's belief in our case, in my doctor, in our witnesses, so that they believed in them enough that we could win. And so I really know the skills to build belief. And then add on top of that, I am almost done with my certification as a hypnotist and learned these subconscious tools to build belief. And now this is my life's work, teaching people how to build beliefs. And some of it is I work with leaders who want their teams to believe in them. I work with salespeople who want their prospects to believe in them. I work with founders who want investors to believe in them. I work with a lot of women who want people, bosses, colleagues to believe in them. But every single one of you needs to believe in yourself first. So today I want to talk to you about how to believe in yourself and to do so in such a way that you have delightful confidence. We'll put a link to it in the show notes. I actually am going to make myself a note to do that. A link to it in the show notes because there was an episode that I did on how to advocate, and I talk about advocating as having 3 steps: knowing what you want, asking for it out loud and with delight, and mastering the art of the ask. And that second step and the with delight part has resonated so thoroughly with so many of you on Instagram and in my DMs and in my messages on my email list. People are responding. They love this idea of asking with delight. And the way that you do that is when you have delightful confidence. You know, you've all met and seen people who are arrogant or confident in a way that makes you feel excluded, or that they think that they're better than you, or they think that you're not enough, or just make you get the energy when you're around them that you are not enough. And that is not the kind of confidence that I want you to have. And it's not the kind of confidence I teach. I teach delightful confidence. And the root of the word delight is charm. We want you to have charming confidence, the kind of confidence that feels to other people like it is open, that it is welcoming, that it is inclusive, that my confidence can give you confidence as well. And so that to me is what delightful confidence is. And there's really 3 secrets that I want to share with you, what I call the secret C's, that are going to get you there. They are not steps, though. You know, initially when I was thinking about titling this podcast, this YouTube episode, I was thinking it would be 3 steps to believe in yourself, 3 steps to delightful confidence. And the reason it is not steps, but it is instead secrets, is because they don't go in order. These are going to bop around a little bit. I'll tell them to you in an order because that's the way that our language works. But these don't go in order. And we'll talk a little bit about how that works as we go through them. But the first step in believing in yourself is choosing the story that you want to believe, choosing your belief. All day, every day, there's so many stories that you could tell yourself about the things that happened in your life. I just coached someone yesterday we have worked hard, and I've worked with her for a long time on her advocating for herself in her work, in her marriage, in her life in general. And she is a very high up leader. She has a beautiful marriage, a beautiful family. And yet, just like you and I and everyone listening, we all struggle with this sometimes. And last weekend, she had wanted to not go on a family outing with some neighbors and some friends. It was mostly the husbands and the kids. Very few women were going. She had had a really rough week at work, and there was a whole lot going on for her. And she advocated for herself with her husband and her kids and said, listen, I think it's better for everybody if I don't go and get some stuff done around the house and have a day and so forth. And they were not like super excited at first, but ultimately agreed. And she then got so much work done in her house, all kinds of chores around the house that she wanted to do that she has a hard time doing when the kids are out and about and running around. And then she had some time to lay in the pool on a raft. And while she was laying in the pool on a raft, she was thinking to herself, I am so lucky. This is so amazing. I am so proud of myself that I advocated for myself and I'm not going to be resentful today. She was believing that this was the best possible choice for her. It was the best possible choice for her family. It was the best possible choice for their future. It was the best possible choice for her health. And that belief was strong. She was choosing that belief, choosing it. She could have been on that raft believing I should be there. They're going to be mad. People think I'm a bad mother. The other mothers there are going to think that I'm not as good as they are. That's a belief that was available to her, but it's not the one that she chose. And the truth of it is, even when this feels hard, it is true that you get to choose your beliefs. One of my favorite quotes is attributed to Viktor Frankl, and I like to believe it's his quote. It's unclear, but the quote is, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies your power to choose, and that is where your power and freedom lie. The reason I like to think that's Viktor Frankl is Viktor Frankl was in Auschwitz. He has passed away since, a concentration camp survivor. And the idea that even he could choose a different belief while he was in the worst possible circumstances is very inspirational to me. You get to choose your belief. And until you accept that, because it is a responsibility, it does make you accountable for your choices and your life. But until you accept that, you can't believe in yourself and you can't be delightfully confident. So the first C is choose what you want to believe. Now, this doesn't mean, so in the Belief Builders Academy, this is the membership that I run. We do a lot of things. We meet once a week for group coaching. I also have office hours where I coach people one-on-one in 15-minute increments. I also do master classes once a month. There's a whole lot of things that go on in there. But we talk a lot in all of those places about the fact that I don't want them to gaslight themselves. So if, for example, my client had been in the pool believing I'm a terrible mother and people think terrible things about me, I don't want her to tell herself that she believes I'm the best possible mother and everyone is there talking about how amazing I am. That belief is not accessible to her. She would not believe it. And if she tried to fake it, she'd lose credibility with herself, which is the worst possible thing when you are trying to believe in yourself. So you don't want to gaslight yourself when you're choosing what to believe. What you want to do instead is try a ladder of beliefs. So for my client, for example, she was already at the belief that made her feel fabulous. Wonderful. But if she wasn't, she could have tried, well, maybe they're not talking about me at all. That belief might have been accessible to her. It might have been something that actually felt true. And that's the one that she would want to start with. And then maybe she can build up to, they're talking about how great it would be to have me there, but not in a negative way. I mean, there's a million beliefs available to us in any minute. And you've got to feel what the belief feels like for you and just reach for one that feels a little bit better. I have gotten so good at this that most of the time I can find the highest possible belief, the belief that would really make me feel phenomenal. And then sometimes I'm like, nope, that one doesn't feel true. And I work my way down the ladder instead of starting at the lowest vibration, the sort of one that makes me feel just not even much better, and working my way up. But whatever works for you, the important part is do not gaslight yourself. Do not tell yourself that you believe something that you don't, because you're losing credibility with yourself every time that you do that. And that is not ever, ever, ever worth it. You cannot believe in yourself when you are gaslighting yourself and telling yourself you don't believe something. So I proactively, intentionally, and deliberately choose beliefs. In fact, I posted about this on social medias all the places the other day, and a lot of people commented on it that I have a believe list. And in the membership every day, I post my believe list. And it just occurred to me I haven't done it yet today. And I write down what I'm going to believe that day, what I believe that day. And the reason I do that, well, there's multiple reasons, but one of the reasons is that when you say what you believe at the beginning of the day and you really believe it, your brain will go out and collect and create evidence to support that belief. And so choosing a belief at the beginning of the day sets you up for success. And so I have a lot of beliefs. I have a belief list on my phone that's like my general life belief list. And then I also have my daily, like, I believe this about this day. And one of my belief lists, one on the big list, is that I am abundant. My life is abundant. Good things are coming to me all the time. That is one of my beliefs. And I've chosen that belief. I choose to believe that luxury is my birthright. I choose to believe that elegance is always on its way. And I choose to believe in abundance. And so I actually have a great story that sort of lays out the secrets of believing in yourself and just believing in general. I believe in myself and I believe in my right to abundance, my right to luxury, my right to elegance. And I see evidence of that everywhere. So I'm going to take you through the secrets with that particular belief in mind. The first thing is choose your belief. We're going to stay, for me in this story, we're going to stay with I am meant for abundance and luxury. That is the belief. That's the first C. Choose your belief. Second is collect and create evidence to support that belief. So I spend my days collecting evidence to support that I am meant for abundance and luxury. When I find a coin on the ground, that is evidence that abundance is always coming to me. When I order something nice for myself, I am creating evidence. So the difference between collecting and creating, we've talked about this before. Collecting is sort of looking in your life, things in the past. Like I can look at things that I've done in different relationships. I've traveled the world. I've flown private. All these things from my past that support this belief that I am destined for luxury. And I can collect the evidence to remind me of that. I can also create the evidence of that by investing in things that I really want and taking care of myself in a beautiful way, getting facials, for example. That's something that I am creating evidence that I am meant for a life of luxury and abundance. So you can collect and create evidence. And collecting evidence is also, creating is more proactive. You've got to go out and say, what am I going to do today to create evidence to support this belief? And so when it's believing in yourself, and let's go back to number one and get this clear. Choosing a belief. It could be, I am amazing. It could be, I am worthy. It could be, I am a fabulous reader. It could be, I am a fabulous writer. It could be, I am ready for this interview. There's all kinds of beliefs that you can choose. And then you go to collecting and creating evidence. So if you want to believe that you're a fabulous writer, a way to create evidence is to write every day. And you will create evidence that you are a fabulous writer. You will also become a better and better writer the more that you do it. You can collect evidence by looking back and seeing all the, my first book, The Elegant Warrior, got a beautiful review from Publishers Weekly. I use that as evidence for that belief. So for this luxury belief, I spend my days collecting and creating evidence of this. And last summer, I went to a coach's retreat type of thing in Montana. I had never been to Montana before. I was invited sort of very serendipitously. It was a luxury hotel. So this was more evidence that luxury is just always waiting for me and meant for me. And the piece de resistance of this trip was my best friend who lives in California and I rarely see was also going to go on this trip. So I went on the trip and I was delighted. I was delighted about every aspect of it. I get to Montana and I got there a night earlier than everyone else. And I got into the room and the room was gorgeous. This beautiful, beautiful hotel. It was, well, I'm not going to say what the brand was because of what happens later. So beautiful hotel. And I got a massage, more creating evidence that I am just meant for luxury. And I got to my room and I was exhausted. And my room was on the floor that was where the lawn was, and there was a wedding going on in the lawn. And so I went to bed. I'm an early to bed girl. I went to bed at like 9, and there's a party going on the lawn. It was a wedding, and it went until about 2 in the morning. And so I didn't get a great night's sleep. So the next morning at like 5 a.m. when I woke up, I went to the front desk and I said, "Can I change rooms?" And they said, "Sure." And they gave me a new room. And I went to the new room. And guys, I'm going to put a picture of this room in the on my social media feed. So I'm on Instagram. I'm at an elegant warrior. Go check it out. But so first I walked into the room and it was kind of a weird layout because straight ahead of me was like what looks like a typical room. But then to my left, there was a open door. And through the door, there was a hallway and a huge kitchen with everything you could imagine that you'd want in a kitchen. And then this humongous family room with a big fireplace, and then a big deck that like wrapped around the entire length of the family room. And then there was a dining room with a huge long table and another door and another bathroom. And then you walk further and there was another bedroom on the right-hand side. And then you work further and there's another huge primary bedroom, huge, with a bathroom on there. Just amazing. Another deck off of the primary. Amazing, amazing space. And I was like, this can't be right. But then I chose to believe it was right. I chose to believe that this was just evidence that good things happen to me, that luxury happens to me, that abundance is everywhere. And if I just look for it and accept it and receive it, and gosh, did I receive it? I was in heaven. I was laying on the couch. I was lighting the fire. I was there. For me, the best part of this was the coffee maker because I'm a very early riser. And most hotels are not serving coffee as early as I get up. And so I'm stuck with the Keurig, which is fine, but not my luxury favorite. And so there was a beautiful coffee maker. And so this was just absolutely the best thing I could have imagined. And I reveled in it. I reveled in the way that it was supporting my belief in myself. And the belief that I wanted was that abundance was my birthright. Now, for you, it might be I'm ready for this interview or I'm the right person for this job. But whatever it is, you have to collect and create the evidence and receive it and let it land when it comes. I mean, I let this evidence land. I also just felt like the whole weekend, we were there for a few days, was filled with God winks like this. Like I was walking in the morning and there was a license plate that said, "I've got you." And it just felt very magical. The whole thing felt magical. And then this magical room, I mean, forget about it. So we've got choose your belief. The belief we're talking about is abundance is my birthright. Then collect and create evidence to support that belief. And here's some amazing evidence in this amazing room. And then the next secret, and this is the one that really is important, is cushion your belief. Wrap it up in padding. Keep it safe. I don't mean protect your belief. There is a difference. Initially, I was going to say protect your belief, and I didn't just change it because I wanted to make it a C. I changed it because protecting your belief feels defensive. It feels like there's danger out there. It feels like if you have to protect something, it's against like someone who is out to get you or wants to hurt you. And that's not what we're talking about. And you'll hear this example. Sometimes it's the people that you love the most that by accident can hurt your belief. And so you've got to cushion it. You've got to cushion it with repetition and with journaling and with reminding yourself about this beautiful thing that is being proven to you. You've got to cushion it with the evidence. You've got to wrap it up in your love and your feeling of loyalty to this belief, that nothing's going to knock you off of this belief, and really love your belief, love your evidence, let it all land. cushion it all up in that evidence, in that story that you're telling yourself, because there will be things that will knock you off course. So I'm happily in this room, enjoying the heck out of it. And I had told Courtney, my friend, you guys have heard her. She's been on the podcast. I told her about it and she's like, "Oh my God, it sounds amazing." And so I said, "You've got to come and see my room." I think it was like the third day or whatever. So I had enjoyed the heck out of it. And she came up and we went in. Now that I think about it, this also makes sense. We went in the door that I had originally gone in because that's the door I had the key to. And then I showed her, like, turn to the left and there's the hallway. And she said, "Heather, there's a door here. I don't think I don't think this is all one room." Which of course it wasn't. Like, I was so immersed in my belief that I didn't recognize that the room in front of me, the straight room in front of me, had its own bed, its own bathroom, its own little coffee maker, its own little deck. And then there was a door that was open. So I didn't really even notice the door to this hallway to this other huge space. And she showed me the door and how that door could have been closed and locked and then not accessible to me. And she did not do this out of malintent or out of trying to hurt me. She was like, "Oh, look." But immediately my belief faltered. And all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, that's not meant for me. That's not, that this is a mistake." And again, Courtney was not trying to hurt me, but I hadn't cushioned my belief enough to immediately go to, well, it was a mistake that served me. It was a mistake that was meant to be. It was a mistake that was meant to allow me to believe this belief. I had not cushioned it enough and I fell out of belief. And so I had been sleeping in the primary and I had all my stuff in the primary closet. And after she left, I moved everything to this little tiny this little tiny horrible room, which was not at all horrible, in the fear that the people who belonged in that big space were going to return. And it was fine. But had I cushioned my belief more, had I been willing to stop and think, do I want to believe this? What's evidence that this is actually meant for me? No one has knocked on the door. No one has come to clean the space. I mean, there was plenty of evidence that that room was meant for me. Now, I did continue to make coffee in there every morning, but I didn't continue to use the space in the same way because my belief had not been cushioned thoroughly enough. And I think it's important, Courtney, we laugh about it, but I think it's important that I point it out because Courtney loves me as much and as well as anyone in my life. And she did not mean to try to take that belief away from me. It wasn't something I don't have to protect myself from Courtney, but I have to cushion my beliefs and do the work to repeat them and back them up. And when maybe something starts to knock me off my game, get back into choose again. And that's why these aren't steps. Because when Courtney said that, I could have chosen a new belief. Yeah, it was a mistake, but it was a mistake to my benefit instead of it was a mistake and now I need to go play small in that little room. I could have chosen a new belief and I did not. I instead believed this was a mistake. I'm going to get in trouble. I need to move. And so all of these C's, it's actually four, right? Because it's choose your belief, collect and create evidence to support that belief, and then cushion your belief. And when you do this, you can believe in yourself. And you can believe in yourself in a way that is playful and fun and creative, which is why you become delightfully confident instead of arrogant or angry. You're not the protect piece versus the cushion piece is a lot of that. If you're trying to protect your confidence, number one, you're probably not as secure in it as if you're trying to just cushion it. And number two, you run the risk of coming across as arrogant, as full of yourself. But if you are cushioning it and choosing another thing to believe and choosing another thing to believe and then playing with the evidence, you will have delightful confidence in yourself, in your value, and your worth, and whatever you choose to believe in. This work is so much fun. And this is just the conscious part. So in my work, I say that I teach people how to build beliefs with the conscious and logical tools of a trial attorney after my 25 years of doing that. And then the subconscious emotional tools of a hypnotist, which I have been studying since I was 19 years old when I used hypnosis to lose 100 pounds. You combine those two, and we haven't talked about the hypnosis piece yet, but you combine those two and you are guaranteed to build your belief in whatever you want to believe in. Now, the hypnosis piece is more personal. So, for example, there's a couple ways to do hypnosis. You can do it as a group. That's how I did it with Barry Beater, who's been on the podcast. When I lost that 100 pounds, there were, I don't know how many people in a conference room, an event room, in a hotel, and he hypnotized us all. And then he sold cassette tapes, which, if you're watching on YouTube, you see that I still have my cassette tapes, Barry Beater. And I listen to them morning and night. And in hypnosis, we learn that that way of getting hypnotized in a group takes about 30 days because it's the repetition for your subconscious to be able to make change. And I did it for way more than 30 days. I mean, I did it for years. I listened to those tapes. And I went back to Barry one other time for a little like booster of the hypnosis. And then the one-on-one hypnosis that I'm learning now is it's different and it's personalized because we can actually get to what is getting in the way of you believing in yourself, of you believing in your value, of you believing in your product, your worth, your ideas, your potential. And so we really can get down to that and then speak to that, speak to your subconscious about your specific thing. So that's the subconscious piece. That's the hypnosis piece. That's a piece that you need the help of someone like me to do. We're doing that in the membership as well. I'm creating some group hypnosis on a private podcast that they can listen to anytime they want to, and you, if you join us, on overwhelm, on imposter syndrome, on believing in yourself, on procrastination, on anxiety. I mean, there's going to be a million of them. But also, whether you're a member or not, I am accessible to work with you one-on-one as a hypnotist to talk to your subconscious about the things that are holding you back. But it really is your opportunity to choose a belief that comes first. And a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people don't want to take that responsibility, that accountability for their life and their actions, and that fact that believing is actually a choice. But my clients do this, and we have so much fun deciding what they want to believe. I coached someone yesterday, who said that she loves the belief it's going to be this or better. That's one of mine. And I offered it to her, and she loved it. Um, it's fun to play with them and find out what's accessible to my clients and to me, and then double down on the ones that feel really, really good. You are here to be delightfully confident. You are here to ask for what you want out loud and with delight. And these secret C's are going to help you to believe in yourself enough to do it. So, two things you need to know about. I've talked about hypnosis. In the show notes, I am going to put a link to some of the things that you might not know about hypnosis. I know some people are afraid of it. Some people don't understand it. Some people think that it's what you see in stage hypnosis. It is not. And so that this document sort of describes some of the things that you might not know about hypnosis, some of the studies and so forth. So that's there for you if you want it. The other thing that's there is a link to the Belief Builders Academy waitlist. Let me tell you a little bit about the Academy, and I'm going to be completely open about it. It is, you get a lot for a little. It is a huge value, and the doors open October 3rd. Here's what you get. You get an amazing community of men and women. It's primarily women who support each other every day. They post their belief lists every day. I post my belief list every day. They post their wins. They post their challenges. We talk to each other within the community that's in its own app. It's not a Facebook page. It's within its own app. So there's the community. On top of that, you get once a week, we do a weekly question and answer. Well, we all get on and share. They ask me questions, other people chime in. It is really a community conversation that happens every week. Every week, I hold office hours where I meet with members one on one. They get one on one coaching with me for 15-minute increments. That's a $250 value right there, that one on one, because coaching with me one on one is a lot more than that. They get that opportunity every week. They also get monthly master classes on topics they choose, things like imposter syndrome, how to use your tone of voice, how to use your body language, how to be more charismatic, procrastination, all kinds of things. Dealing with conflict is another one they asked for. There's master classes on that. And those master classes go into a private podcast that only members have access to that you can listen to anytime. It also goes into the portal so that you can watch the video anytime that you want to. But I know for myself, I like to listen while I'm on the run or in the car, driving, walking the dog, whatever. And so there's a private podcast. In October, you're also going to receive in there hypnosis. So you're going to be voting on what the next month's hypnosis will be, and we'll do a group hypnosis on that topic. And then on a regular basis, I'll be adding new ones for you to listen to on the private podcast. Finally, you will also get reduced rates for my one-on-one hypnosis in the membership. That is a lot. It is a lot of value, a lot of value. Oh, one more thing, worksheets that go with the master classes. And that's also in the membership portal. And the membership portal is accessible on your computer and on your phone. You get all of that, which ultimately what it means to you is you learn how to build beliefs. You learn how to build your own belief in yourself, your value, everything that we talked about today. And sometimes more importantly, you learn to build other people's beliefs, your clients, your customers, your leaders. If you're a leader, your team's beliefs. And we get really into what you need to do. Who is your jury? And we talk about all of those things. All of that it's a month to month membership. You can cancel anytime and it is $97 a month. Is that outrageous or what? I am, it is, the value of it is unbelievable. The people who joined last year, the majority of them are still in there. They joined without a lot of these perks. There wasn't office hours when they joined. There wasn't hypnosis when they joined, and they are still there. And they're going to be on, some of them are going to be on the podcast as we approach the doors reopening. But I would love to see you in there. I would love that. The link to the wait list, the doors open October 3rd, is in the show notes. I really hope you embrace these secret C's. And most of all, I hope you choose a belief that feels good to you, because that is what leads to delight. And delight is the only way to delightful confidence. And delightful confidence, I promise you this, it is magic. I will talk to you next week. In the meantime, take good care.